Hey, what's going on everyone, and welcome back to once again another Warzone video. Today we're going to go over the best classes to use in Warzone to get wins. We are going to focus on close range classes, mid-range classes, and long range classes. I will have my main classes on screen that I use at the very beginning of the video with attachments included, so you guys can use what I use if you really want to. Of course, having weapons with higher levels is going to be more beneficial because in your loadouts you can have better attachments, which then makes your gun work better in the actual game itself. These classes are going to be in loadout drops, which you can either get for free when they fall from the sky after the first circle closes, as well as you can buy them from any buy station from 6,000 points currently in the game. Best thing to do is to get one or two classes based off of where the circle is going to end. To know where the circle is going to end, I have a few videos in the description below of how to kind of gauge where the circle is going to be by capturing flags and completing in-game objectives. To decide whether you take the short range, medium range, or long range class, depending on where the final circle is, that is where you're going to make your decision. In the final circle, if there's lots of buildings that are closely knit together, that's where you're obviously going to want that close range weapon as well as a medium range weapon. If it is a huge open area, that's where you're going to want your medium range weapon and your long range weapon. 90% of the time, you will always have that medium range weapon with you just because it is the most versatile and can work in close range and long range situations if needed. It's just that long range class and that short range class that really comes down to the variables of where the circle is. What I like to do is I like to run cold-blooded, Ghost, and Tracker as my perks. I run Ghost and cold-blooded, so heartbeat sensors and UAVs will not pick me up and I will stay hidden for as long as possible, all the way up until that end circle, so I can kill as many enemies as possible without them knowing I'm even there. Also, I like to use suppressors on all my weapons, so my red dot does not show up on the minimap when in gunfights, as well as enemies will have a little bit of a harder time figuring out where I'm shooting from. The only exception to no suppressor is going to be my Akimbo Snake Shot 357s. I use these as pocket shotguns on every class, as well as if you do have a shotgun because you don't have the 357s unlocked with Akimbo Snake Shots, I recommend using the R90 shotgun. It is the second best thing at close range other than the Akimbo Snake Shots. I'm going to have some gameplay on screen of some long range kills, some medium range kills, as well as some close range kills with all my classes. So you guys get a visual representation of how my classes work and run. Let's talk about how to build your own custom class that will be beneficial for you. I recommend having 3 classes, a long range, medium range, and close range. For your close range class, you're going to want a shotgun as your primary, or a submachine gun as your primary, and preferably your secondary is either going to be the Akimbo Snake Shot with 357s, or if you actually don't have those unlocked yet, using an RPG or a launcher for those close range encounters because they're so strong and powerful. So submachine gun, whatever one you want. That I prefer using the P90 or the MP5 just because they melt at super close range engagements. You also can substitute those for any other SMGs if you prefer them over the two, but I find that the MP5 and the MP7 work wonders at close range. In your mid-range class, you're going to want your best assault rifle or LMG. You can use your assault rifle and LMG at close range and long range in-game, depending on the situation you are in. However, obviously, it's going to target mid-range, so if you have an assault rifle, so personally for me, I use the M13, the M4, or the SCAR. I kind of stick away from the rest of the assault rifles just because those are what I'm comfortable with and used to using in Warzone. For LMGs, they hit hard at medium ranges as well as long ranges, but they kind of lose that accuracy at long ranges, and then they don't shoot fast enough at close range, so they are a very good medium range weapon. I recommend for LMGs just focusing with the PKM. Don't worry about any other LMG. The PKM covers all 9 yards when it comes to LMGs. For your long range classes, you have the snipers and the marksman rifles. The marksman rifles are a little weak, but have a faster fire rate than the sniper rifles, but the sniper rifles will hit harder at longer distances and they're more consistent. I tend to switch between the HDR and the AX50 depending on how I feel playing. The HDR hits harder, but the AX50 is more accurate and a little bit faster. You can use the Dragunov, but the damage drop-off does affect it, where you have to hit enemies multiple times with the Dragunov, unless you get a lucky headshot, and here or there, but honestly, I stick with the AX50 and just focus on those long range kills with that. For my equipment in my classes, I run the heartbeat sensor and the claymore. The heartbeat sensor will pick up where enemies are, as well as the claymore will cover my 6 if I'm camping in a building or if there's a ladder that leads up to where I'm sniping enemies at. The claymore will let me know when an enemy is pushing, as well as it is a great tool to cover your flanks. So if there's enemies that are trying to flank you, set down a claymore. The claymore will damage them initially, and then you can get an easy kill because the claymore will take away most of their health, if not kill them. Now here's where things do get a little bit subjective in your loadout. Once you find that really good close range gun, medium range gun, and long range gun to put in your classes, here's where attachments get involved. Now, if you are a free-to-play player within Warzone, obviously you're not going to have a lot of attachments. The best way to level up your gun is actually following my insane XP guide, which will be linked down in the description. Basically, whenever you capture a flag, the gun you are holding at that current time will get all that XP from that flag, so you can level it up very quickly there. The best attachments to use, in my opinion, are going to be attachments that increase your damage range as well as your bullet velocity, so you can have increased ranges with your guns, which is very important with how big the Warzone map is. Also, I like to have a suppressor so I don't show up on the minimap. I also like to have a stock that increases my aim down sight speed to kind of counteract the negative effects from the monolithic suppressor and the barrel that increases the bullet range and bullet velocity. Also, I like to have scopes that increase my viewing distance. So for my assault rifles, I run the 4x flip sight, and for snipers, I run the variable zoom. For my akimbo snake shots, you can't put optics in there that will work. You can put sniper scopes on your snake shots if you really want, but they do nothing. If I do end up running a shotgun or an SMG, I will either run iron sights or just a simple reflex sight, just to increase my accuracy at close ranges. Also, for your close range classes, whether that be the snake shots or a shotgun or an SMG, a laser sight will help you with either aiming down sight or just hip firing at super close ranges. You can get some pretty clutch kills with that setup there. That's going to be the video for today. My class setup, as well as some tips to help you build your own custom class setup. Leave a like if you did enjoy, dislike if you didn't. Subscribe to see more videos. The Discord that I run is linked in the description, so if you guys want to play with me when I play Warzone, join that, and then I'll message people to come play. I'm about to head out, and if there is one, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.